Hello everyone and welcome to another Ultimate Fighter episode review, and before I start this one, I'm going to stand up for a second. Because I got a new t-shirt. Yes, well, I got two, but this is the one I'm wearing because, I wanted to wear one of my new t-shirts for recording as I record, as I'm recording now doing this video for the latest episode of the Ultimate Fighter's 23rd season, this episode being called Friends Hunting Friends. And this is probably one of the best episodes of the season, might be my favourite considering that it contains the always awesome, always amazing Coaches Challenge. We'll get to that. Oh yes, we will. We start off with more problems with Corey and his arm. As mentioned before, it was a nerve in his neck that was going awry and was making his left arm hard to move, and pretty much the majority of his neck, back, and possibly head as well. And it was one thing I noticed was the fact that while he was training, he had a boxing glove on his right hand. He was mostly focusing on his right hand because if he moved too much to the left side, he would have done more damage to it. And it was a good call for him to focus more on his right side because that was the one that was mostly functional. That's the one that's the less damage one. That's the one he's hoping to, obviously, one would hope that he would be able to use both sides, but we'll get to that as well. Next up, from what I remember, there's not really much of a summary to go on, but this is mostly off the top of my head from what I remember from the episode. So, we move on from the injury to, they all go out to the Brooklyn Bowl, I think the name of the place is, and it's just this really huge Ferris wheel in Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure you might have seen it before. It's an absolutely beautiful looking place. I'd love to go there. Dana White took the fighters out there pretty much to just chill, relax, have a good time, have a good relaxation. And it gets to a point where Joanna kind of starts taking credit for it, and Claudia gets a bit pissed at her. Mostly in the backstage interview debrief that they normally do for these episodes. She doesn't go up to her face and try to ruin the whole trip because they're there to relax. They don't want to do any altercations. They're just there to eat some good food, maybe have a couple of beers, enjoy a good time. Corey's still complaining about his arm, but he doesn't want to get that outwardly. He doesn't want to make that appear too much of a problem because he's supposed to be enjoying himself, and that's pretty much what happens. And then, from what I remember, we move on to everyone's favorite part of any Ultimate Fighter season, the Coaches Challenge. And this just might be the most insane one ever. Pretty much what happened was there was these two high platforms. Below these platforms were huge freaking dunk tanks of ice cold water that actually had 9 bags worth of ice poured into them by excavator trucks. And obviously the coach challenges for the coaches to do. So he had Joanna on one side, Claudia on the other, and the objective was to shoot tennis balls which were painted in their respective colours. So for Team Joanna it would be red, for Team Claudia it would be blue. And there was this target that was focused on. There was 5, 10, then 20. 20 is an automatic dunk, and the first 100 points would win. About 4 of the 6 shots that Claudia took were automatic dunks, and she wound up winning the fight. Well, not the fight, the coaches challenge. She got 100 to Claudia's 55 or something. So, to Joanna's 55, Claudia won. You could tell Joanna wasn't having a good start, considering she absolutely missed the target with her first shot, so not a great showing. But Claudia won the challenge, and then something fucking amazing happened. Dana White himself volunteered to go up onto Joanna's platform and would give Team Claudia extra money, because the purpose of the coach challenge is also to give the winning team extra money. He would give Claudia extra money if if she could dunk him. The thing is, Claudia is afraid of water. Dana White is afraid of heights. That almost rhymed it. Dana White, afraid of heights. That was cool. And, pretty much she had to get in 3 shots or he wouldn't get dunked and he wouldn't give the money. She got it on the first shot and Dana White was dunked. And it was, oh my god, it was amazing. I couldn't help but applaud it, Dana, because he's the man. It was a very cool thing that he did. One of the most memorable coach challenges by far, and we're talking about compared to last season where they had to throw watermelons onto a gigantic target from helicopters. I guess after they outran all the sportsmen that started doing coaches challenges, they just started thinking, okay, let's just see how batshit crazy we can get with these. So it was a fun episode, it really was. But it's not over. Obviously, we have the fights. Before we get to that, we take a bit of a close look at Andrew Sanchez and X Mosley, who are the two fighting, both from Team Claudia, and it's kind of unfortunate because they become quite close, very close friends throughout this season, and they really don't want to fight each other. I mean, there's a point in training where X Mosley, after he's done sparring in the cage, he sat down against one of the sides of the cage and is starting to cry and starting to breathe heavily because he doesn't, he knows that he's going to have to fight his best friend. Andrew was a bit less emotional, but then we get to the fight itself, which didn't really last that long, to be honest. Andrew Sanchez won within 47 seconds. He won within the first minute by TKO. And before the fight wasn't very emotional, but afterwards they both were. They were both crying their eyes out. They were both hugging, apologizing. It showed how good their bond was. But then we get to why this episode is called Friends Fighting Friends. Not just because it's these two fighting each other, but there's a backstage thing, and Dane says that you really can't have that many friends in the UFC, which is kind of a sad but true thing. I mean, you have people you like, but not necessarily friends. And it's harsh, but in the UFC, that is something you've got to set aside. You cannot make too close friendships with anyone. I mean, there's a reason that some fighters won't fight just because they like the other fighter so much and respect them so much that they don't want to fight them. But in the Ultimate Fighter, Andrew and Eric had no choice. Eric is out of the competition because he lost now. Andrew is still in, and he made it to the finals, so he did a really good job. And I remember mentioning earlier that, I was talking about Corey's shoulder and stuff. Well, reason for that. Unfortunately, due to during a training session for Team Claudia, Claudia herself says that it would not be wise for Corey to really train or continue the competition at all, and after weighing his options, Corey agrees. I think that was a smart move on Claudia's part, to be honest. I think he would be way too damaged if he did have to fight Josh, especially considering how good Josh is. I don't think that fight would have been fair at all. So Corey, all respect to the guy. He's going to get a spot in the finale anyway, which is a good sign. He's going to get his chance to try in the UFC. He did well. He did what he could. Unfortunately, injuries can be a real bitch when it comes to not just the Ultimate Fighter, but the UFC as well. So I wish him all the best when he actually does come to the Octagon. That'd be nice. But obviously, they had to choose someone else from one of the other fighters I'd lost to replace Corey. Now, options were obviously Abdel from Team Claudia, who was the only Team Claudia member to have lost, Khalil Roundtree, or Elias Urbina. And it makes me question why they didn't mention Myron Dennis all, considering I thought he would have been a good candidate as well, but maybe that's just because I like him a lot and he's very funny. But, they wound up saying on Khalil, and Khalil and Josh are going to be fighting each other. And this is kind of a good sign for Team Yana, because now she's got two chips on the table. And it doesn't matter what happens, a red fighter is going to be in the finale. One of her fighters is going to be in the finale. So this is kind of a good thing. So yeah, that's really all I can think of to say. The next fight, I believe, is Lanchana Green against Amanda Cooper. I think that's the next fight. That'll be a very interesting one. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. As this is probably my favorite episode personally. It was really good. Lots of emotion as well, considering how fun and just wacky the episode itself was. Really good fight despite how short it was, and an absolutely brilliant coach challenge. Top notch stuff. It was brilliant. It was really good. Anyway, I'm just about done talking and yapping my butt off. So I'll see you all in the next video, whenever, however, whatever that may be. So take care.